Hey, good evening and welcome to Inside Outside on Wellness Wednesday, Power of Now. I'm Coach Mitchell.
And I'm Coach Darren.
Listen, tonight we just want to walk you through some of the things that you can do at home and that we do on our health and wellness journey so that we can show you how quick, simple, and economical it is to just start incorporating some, healthier ingredients and alternatives into your diet.
Yes, and we're going to share with you just a couple of tools that you can incorporate. We did mention them before. We're now going to actually show you, that will help make life easier. Because one of the challenges that you're going to have if you're new to truly stepping up your health and wellness game, I'm not talking about doing a diet, anything like that. I'm talking really living a healthier lifestyle. The complaints have always been that it's expensive, which is not true when you compare to the expense of being sick. It is time consuming, but it's not as time consuming, as it is to sitting in an ER, for several hours. And now it seems to take weeks, even months to get on, to get an appointment with your doctor. Mm-hmm. So when you factor all that in, it's really not time consuming, nor is it expensive.
That's correct.
And then we just, again, want to encourage you to consider, all right, hopefully to start, but we're changing seasons, even though we're in winter, but people who grow their own food are starting to prepare now. And we want to maybe just show you some of the things that you might want to pick up, and then we'll show you how to implement them later on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that preparation begins indoors.
Yes.
Indoors, depending on what region you're in. And because we are in the Northeast, and oh yeah, that's right. We're in the Southeast. Our indoor planting season starts now, getting us prepared, or not planting season, preparation season begins now, because 6 to 8 weeks from now, we'll be at the end of March, going into spring, and we want to be able to have our seedlings sprouted so we can just transplant them outdoors. So tonight we're going to walk you through, as Coach said, some of the inexpensive tools that you can purchase and some of the ingredients that you can incorporate into your diet that have a whole health of benefits behind them, and they're very economical, and you can repurpose them for a lot of different uses in the kitchen.
All right, so Coach Mitchell, you want to prepare the apple?
Yes.
And I don't know if you can prepare the apple, and if you want to talk about the pineapple in our, tool right here that has made, coring pineapples a lot easier.
Yes.
Than when we used to do it strictly with a knife. Mm-hmm. So, two things. You can go ahead, check the pineapple core.
Okay. So the pineapple core it's a really great tool. Mm-hmm. That's tripping there. It's a really great tool because it allows you to actually core the pineapple in slices, and you don't have to worry about trying to cut the outer portion of the pineapple, because that is such a pain, because it leaves so many of the islets, if you will, of the pineapple. But coring it, you get clean, even slices. This, all you do is it has a little opening to go over the core. You stick it in the pineapple and you just twist it. It's just a matter of twisting it down into the pineapple and bringing it back up. And this is what you get. And the handle easily slips off, just like that. You turn this upside down and you just slide your pineapple slices, your rings, right off of the cylinder. And it's just that simple. So if you're making, roasted pineapple, grilled pineapple, which is a delicious snack, having one of these in your toolkit, in your utensil kit, is highly recommended. Highly recommended.
You remember how much they cost? Because we've had them for several years now.
Yeah, I would say you can get it for less than $25. probably even lesser than that. And this is a Rosley. Don't, not really familiar with that brand, but you can find these on Amazon, in Walmart, and Kohl's, Target, but we suggest that you get one.
Yes.
After you core your pineapple, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, they'll say, and it's just a pineapple core. I'm sure that if you want to go on to Amazon and put that in, or Walmart, you will probably get this one or a similar one.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining. If you want to type your name in so I can see who we're talking to, I'd love to be able to shout you out tonight. Also, with this is not waste. And we kept this in particular because we wanted to show you that you can utilize this pineapple. We call it a cup until you cut it out, but you can take this core out. We make tea with the core, we make tea with the rind and the meat that's left over in the pineapple. So it's not going to waste. But you could also use this if you were having a party. You could use this to make pina coladas. You could use this to, put punch in, whatever. You don't have to throw this away. It has multiple uses to it. But what we like to do is make pineapple tea. So
yes,
we can core this, or we could throw the whole thing like this in the pot, but we usually slice it up and throw it in a pot of water and let it steep. And we have pineapple tea. You can drink it warm or chilled.
Mm-hmm. Or like I said, you'll see that there's still a lot of meat in there from the coring. It is slightly one of the minor drawbacks to coring is that it does leave a lot of fruit inside of the skin. But you can follow that through with a couple of things. Like I said, you can use the skin as is. If you make the tea, your tea will have a more powerful flavor because of that excess fruit. Mm-hmm. The other thing you can do is, how children used to like to lick the bowl. Well, now you can give them a piece of fruit and tell them that, have at it. And they could just, again, eat the, remaining part of the fruit. Or as Coach Mitchell said, you can just, use it for another purpose. And, so again, you don't end up just throwing it out.
Oh, hi, sis. Thanks for joining.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Any questions? Yeah. So again, one tool you want to have is your pineapple core.
Yep. And it just slides right in. You just core it, twist it, and
just back it out the same way.
Back it out the same way. Just put it in reverse, pull it up, and you have your pineapple rings. Mm-hmm. And of course, we all know that I am a fanatic now over pineapple, the crown of the pineapple. You just twist that out. I'm not going to twist it now because we're not eating this right now, but you just twist that out, peel off the first 5 layers all around the base until you reveal the roots. Sit it in a little water. In 2 weeks or so, you'll have roots and you can transplant that into soil and you'll eventually yield pineapple fruit.
Yes.
All right, so.
You want to prepare the apple and why?
Okay, I will slice the apple. I'm going to move out of frame a little bit,
yes.
But I'm going to slice the apple. It has already been washed. A solution of baking soda and vinegar to de-wax it a little bit. And I know we should have an apple slicer here, but didn't have enough working room. So we'll just slice this up, slice around the seeds.
Okay, so while she's doing that, just want to show you, we found this juicer, and again, hopefully you can see it, and it's really an inexpensive juicer. This one was, about $35, and we got it from Aldi's, and we picked it up because I said, let's give it a try. Now, your juices can become really expensive. The brand that is really popular now, as I mentioned in previous videos, is called the Nama, NAMA 2, I believe, is the model. And I think that can range between $300 and $400. So, now up until we got this, we used Vitamixers. That was our thing. We blended everything. We didn't juice anything. And you can, if you use a blender and you want to juice with a blender, then you need cheesecloth. It's basically after you blend something, you basically strain it through cheesecloth, and you'll basically come out with the juice. And Coach Mitchell, I know we meant to put out the cheesecloth for anyone who does not know what it is, but you can find your cheesecloth probably in the same aisle with like aluminum foil.
Yes.
Things, okay.
Yes.
So
It's just like a thin mesh, very fine mesh that you can strain, you know, your pulp and any sauces through. Okay.
all right. So when I prepared to do this, I also want to talk about a question that often comes up is, you know, should I juice, should I blend, or should I eat the raw fruit as is? And my answer is two. Yes to all, and it depends. Now, the reason why I say yes to all is because you really want to get the mixture of all three, because all three, they offer benefits. There's pros and cons. And by incorporating all three into your diet, you get the best of all of them. You know, I'm not a big fan of what you know, restrictive diets or just doing one thing. And there are benefits to it. It's called a mono diet, where people will just eat one thing. I'm not a fan of that, and that's just, again, a personal choice. I just believe you got to get your body a variety of foods, you know, fruits and vegetables and herbs, so that you can build up your digestive system on a, what they call a microbiome level. So, you know, so here's the benefit. Yeah.
No, I was just going, before you go back into the benefits, I was just going to mention that this is a cold press juicer, and it's a very small one. And a lot of times you have to prep your vegetables or your fruit before you put it in. Like, you may have to peel some vegetables, you may have to peel some of the fruit. But if you get a regular juicer, which is going to be a little bit bigger, or the expensive juicer, like Coach Darren was saying, where you can put the whole fruit in and it will extract the juice and discard the pulp and the peels in, you know, a pitcher, a vessel. You don't have to worry about peeling or prepping your fruit ahead of time, other than washing and cleaning them.
Yes. And again, we want to stress that this would work for someone, intro into juicing, because like I said, it's inexpensive and it will help get you started. So, I was talking about the pros and cons.
Yes.
In the meantime, I'm going to just load this up. So, the benefit to juicing is you get the nutrients much quicker into your body. So, depending on what your needs are, you know, juicing could be very beneficial, because again, because it's liquid, your body does not have to break it down. So the nutrients really go directly to your bloodstream, or they reach the bloodstream, I'm saying necessarily directly, but they reach your bloodstream much faster. So that's a major benefit to juicing, as well as it's easier on the digestive system, because again, it bypasses that part of having to break down the fiber, because you've also removed the fiber. So it tends to be a option, you know, again, if you need your nutrients quick, do, you know, juice. And if you got digestive issues where you're sensitive to consuming, you know, fiber, then juice would be an option. Other side is, if you blend, you keep the entire fruit intact. Yes, it's liquefied, but you have everything in place. And one of the rules that they say is that when you're eating food, you want to eat the food intact. Now, we tend to want to break things up, but to get the true benefit, one of the rules, and again, you know, rules aren't 100%, but one of the rules to follow is, you know, you want to keep everything intact. So that's the benefit of juicing, that you can retain the fiber.
Right. Good evening, Annie. Thanks for joining.
And then eating the raw fruit, that actually helps, because the digestion actually starts in your mouth. Some will even say it starts before that, just from you smelling the food that you're about to eat, the aroma. will trigger certain things, so your digestion system or digestive, yes, will start, say in the mouth, just keep things simple. So when you eat the raw fruit, the chewing helps as well. It helps everything, in your mouth, and then it passes it along, and you get the experience of the entire fruit. Again, if you have issues, for instance, if you're wearing dentures, maybe you can't bite into an apple. Or again, if you have other, mouth issues, maybe eating raw fruit may not be an option.
You have your aligners in.
Yes, well, but for the most part, try to combine all three because they all are beneficial to you. All right, so here's our juice, and again, we tried it one time earlier today because we just picked this up.
Yep.
And go ahead.
No, I was just going to point out the components. This is going to be where the juice, your front spout, is going to be where the juice is going to come out, and this side is going to extract the pulp and the peel.
I actually want to look that up.
Learn how to operate your equipment.
Hopefully.
I think I was backwards, huh?
Yeah.
This is your juice spout, and this is your pulp. You see that coming out?
And it's best to try to juice your fruits when they're ripe.
Yeah, and this cold press, you want your fruit as ripe as it can get because it's less work on the equipment for it to break it down. There's a larger juicer, a regular juicer. You could put a whole apple in the grinding component.
Okay.
Now that was a small apple. That was a small Granny Smith. And you're going to get about a quarter cup of juice, and it tastes so good.
Now, most people think it is.
Oh, that is so delicious. Oh my God.
The sweetness is already there. You don't have the added sugar. But people will say, well, gee, that's not a lot of juice from one apple. And no, it's not a lot. But factor in that we're so used to supersizing our portions. So by, again, you could do 1, 2, 3 apples. I know people who have regular size juicers, they'll make a batch. They'll go to a bag of apples to create the, pitcher of juice. But one thing, you can then add water to that. If you again want to stretch it, if you don't want to go through a bag of apples or you just don't want to take the time, but whatever you choose, you really can't go wrong. It is a much better option than buying bottled juice.
Absolutely.
That's the thing we try to encourage people to stay away from because there's added sugars in most of them. And you want to stay away from the added sugar.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can mix, combine some of these fruits like the apple and the pineapple. They make a really nice juice with a little bit of lemon juice or a little squeeze of lime juice. It'll just bring that, brighten that apple juice up. It'll cut some of the sweetness because even though this Granny Smith apple was really tart, just eating the apple itself, the juice is really, really sweet. Really, really sweet. So just be mindful of that, especially if you are diabetic. So you want to be mindful of that sugar intake as well.
Yeah.
Even though it is all natural, you still want to be careful that it doesn't spike.
And that's something, we hope to talk about in one of the future I Am Well sessions because there's new information coming out where people have actually reversed their diabetes by doing an all fruit diet. So want to do is be able to clear up some of the confusion to help people make a better decision. Always remembering this, health is what we refer to as bio-individualized, meaning each of us are individual, and certain things that may work for some may not work for others, even if they're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we go to another rule, which is learning to listen to your body.
Listen to your body.
All right. The other benefit about this, if you put your apples in your refrigerator, when you juice it, it's nice. I'm gonna say nice and cold.
I'm just gonna take this off your hand.
Okay.
You can't have this. This is my juice.
The other thing is my famous tea. Now, in this picture, this was made today. This is, orange tea, natural orange tea. It has a little bit of honey, and again, honey is one of those foods that some people are for, some people are against it. Again, you decide what works for you. But here it is, just tea made from the skin or the peel from the orange. Again, boil them. First of all, always make sure that your food is clean. And what we do is we save the peels, keep them refrigerated until we have enough, and then throw them in a pot, boil them with some cinnamon sticks, and whatever other seasons you want, and a little bit of honey. Boil. Usually let them boil for about an hour. I don't say boil. I keep them on the stove for about an hour.
Let them simmer.
And let them simmer. Mm-hmm. And then, you bottle it up and you're good to go. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, one of the other things, we mentioned in the past too is, like I said, we do zero, we try, we're working on it. Mm-hmm. Again, we're a work in progress. Zero waste strategy, which means we try to use as much of the food as possible, and we repurpose things. And it almost becomes like a lifestyle. It may be, strange at first, but you get used to it. So with that said, for those who have the ability to compost, that's your last stage is compost, or if you have a garbage disposal, you can take your citrus fruits and put them down your garbage disposal to help freshen those.
Yeah. Just be careful with the lime, because that peel doesn't break down sometimes, and you want to make sure that you clear your garbage disposal drain after you do that. But all the way down to the seeds. Mm-hmm. I'm even saving a couple of apple seeds for my brother, because he wants to plant fruit trees in his backyard. So I'm going to save some of those apple seeds. But this is the core that we got from the Granny Smith that we're going to just toss into the compost. So
now, let's just clarify. This is our indoor kind of portable compost. All right. So it allows us to just throw scraps in here. And again, we picked this up from a secondhand place. And it's just interesting how when you're on a journey, things just appear
come into your path.
So this was like, I don't know how much it would cost if you bought it brand new. I think we got it for like $12. And what you see in the top in here is a charcoal filter that helps to absorb the smell. And it really just saves the trouble. You put it somewhere, nearby, so you can easily throw your scraps or whatever you're going to compost, and then you just take it out to your compost.
Yeah, by the summer we'll have one that you can sit on the counter and it'll compost for us. Break it all the way down to soil.
Yes, that's the other thing too. Yeah. First, new to composting, so this has been learning. Made one out of an old garbage can, but they do have compost machines for indoor. So things are just moving along. But if you don't want to spend the money, we're just showing you kind of do-it-yourself methods.
And easy things to incorporate in your daily life, so it's not abrupt and it's not, a shock to your routine.
So again, we covered some things here for you. When we say you're indoor, and we're slowly transitioning back to outdoor because we're preparing for the season. Now, what you might want to consider, as Coach Mitchell said, you start your outdoor gardening actually indoors. And some of the resources you may want to Google is you want to find, I don't have the website, but if you type in something to the effect of frost dates, gardening season, you want to come across either the Farmer's Almanac or the government's site where find out which region you're in.
Right.
Because that'll give you an idea of when your gardening season actually is. And what, in my learn that, again, people begin like 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost date, which is about now.
Right.
So now, having said that, what do you want to do? You want to get your little seeds, the seeds that you've been saving.
And we've shown you a lot of seeds that we've, saved over the years.
Yes.
Because we didn't just start this. So we have our stash of seeds that we're going to be going through and being selective about what we plant so that we can maximize our garden space and what we grow.
And again, the seeds, they were free. Now, we also will still buy seeds if we catch them on sale. But we have the seeds. We are going to go through and decide what do we want to grow in our garden, so then we can position it. The other thing is that you will probably need to purchase is your soil, unless you're already composting, which means you're already creating your own soil from your food scraps. But either way, you need some seeds, some soil, and some pots. You can start right in the ground. For me, I started in pots last year and transitioned to growing bags. Probably next step might be gardening beds. But again, there's so many ways you can do this. Also learning how to grow hydroponically, where you don't have any soil and it's basically indoors. So there's a whole bunch of options that you want to start incorporating, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're learning how to supplement your food on your own. It is something good to teach your children so that they can begin to learn. And there's a bunch of reasons why we want to begin incorporating these things into our lifestyle. You go ahead.
No.
So the next little resource is you got to hit up, was it Dollar Tree?
It was Dollar Tree.
Yeah. Because you can find, what we found this week is that they have seedling or seed starter pots. They're about yay big, about 2 inches. They're biodegradable, so which is good for the environment, which also means too, you can just take the pot and stick it into however you're planting outside, whether again it's in containers, whether it's in bags, or whether it's directly in the soil. You can take those little pots and put them right in the soil, and they will decompose right in the soil. So you might want to hit them up, get some starter pots. The only thing you can't get is you need to get the soil, and I don't think we ever got soil.
Well, I think also what's good to know is even indoors, they even have the little starter blocks where it will break down if you don't have soil. So to get your seeds jump started, you can get this little starter block, wet it, and it will expand probably about 6 to 10 times its actual size. And you can start your seeds using that and then transfer it to soil once they begin to grow.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point, Coach Mitchell, because again, it reduces, your initial upfront cost. It simplifies things for you, again, especially if you saving seeds, and again, it starts inside. Some seeds you might, like when we're growing lemon plants, we germinate our seeds basically by putting them in a wet paper towel, putting them like under the sink or someplace in a plastic Ziploc bag to create the humidity, and then you will actually see them sprout. And it's kind of amazing just to see it happen. And then you take the seeds and then you put them in soil.
Yep.
And because you're getting these items that the pots and I'm not sure what the correct name is for that soil.
Well, I'll grab it.
Okay.
Because since we're still
Again, these things are $1.25, for a pack of 10 pots, seed starter pots, and
it's really just a rectangle block of seed starter mix. So it's just the mix of different composites of different composts that will expand. I think it's, yeah, this one block, this one rectangle will make 2 quarts of starter mix. So you can plant a couple of different pots.
You see
A
starter pots.
variety of seeds,
Yes.
which is seed starter mix.
So again, what we're trying to encourage and empower you to do is to start. Will you run into some glitches? Yes, you will. It is a learning experience, but you will experience the benefits of it, and there are multiple. So by all means, do start. And as always, we encourage you to, reach out with questions. I'm still learning a lot of this. Mitchell's a little bit more experienced because she's been gardening for, much longer than I have. The difference is she will say, she's not an indoor plant person, whereas that used to be my area because I didn't have an outdoor garden, but I always had plants indoors. So, which you also want to do as well.
Yep. All right. So again, we think that, hi Tiffany, thanks for watching, that it is nothing more special than watching something that you plant grow. You plant a seed, you see the fruit of your labor. It just puts a smile in your heart, not just on your face, but in your heart. And even when you teach your children and you show them how to plant, and they plant and they see the fruit or whatever produce yield from their labor, it teaches them a skill, and it's something that they will take with them for the rest of their lives.
It establishes a lifestyle, and it helps to reconnect them to nature, helps to reconnect them to their food source,
right?
And it gives them a better understanding. And especially for, folks like me, if you grew up in the city area, in urban, suburban areas, you're really disconnected from your food source. We go to the supermarket, we buy something, we look at it, we bring it home, we cook it. And people complaining about food prices, this is one way, to help reduce that. Is it perfect? Not yet. And it's about progress. So you start with what you can. You do what you can based on where you are.
Absolutely. And that's basically the genesis of it. Start now. Just start now. Start right where you are with what you have. I mean, even if you have dry beans, take a bean and plant it in a little pot and watch it grow. Watch it grow. It will. It will. That was my first experience in community gardening, because I had a 3rd grade teacher that had every student bring in a pinto bean, and we planted them and we set our little pots along the windowsill, and in a couple of weeks everyone had beans growing. And that's where a lot of our love for gardening grew, because we actually grew something that we planted. So
anybody want to close
okay.
out? Do you want to, again, kind of request, you want to show the progress of your collard, one of your collard plants that you, again, just took it and sat it in water and watched it come, something that we normally would throw out. And again, we did take, after you took all the leaves, we took the stems, we made broth, which was reused.
Let me grab that.
And then she took the base of the collard, stuck it in some water, and in basically a week, it's already starting to regrow.
Yep. Now these are from Christmas. You can see that. Now these were cut level from a bunch of collards. And as Coach said, we repurposed the stems. But as you can see, I have collards regrowing. And we did this last year as well. And I think from one stem, well, one bunch, we got 3 servings of collards before the winter hit. So, and it, the plant died off. But anyway, 1 week, and I already have the start of a collard plant that I'm going to transfer outdoors as soon as the threat of the last frost has passed. So
again, with that being said, we're just encouraging you to just start, do your research. For those on social media, there are quite a few of groups that dedicate to, who are committed to gardening, living a natural lifestyle, home remedies, which will show you some of those in upcoming sessions. So become part of this journey with us as we all just strive to become a little healthier. Huh? Stay away from all that junk food. Stay away from the processed or the refined sugar, flour, things of that nature, or at least reduce it.
yeah, absolutely. So, start introducing some healthier components into your diet, even if it's gradually. And eventually you'll find that you no longer even crave some of the processed foods or the junk foods that you've been eating most of your life. Coach?
All right, that's it for me.
That's it for you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm Coach Mitchell.
And I'm Coach Darren.
Thank you for joining us tonight for Inside Outside on Wellness Wednesday. And remember, as we always say, if you do not start now, there can be no next. Have an amazing night.